Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Grove Road allotments and this Monday night CCSFF clash between Jaipur Takeaway and Kingan's Kippers. After watching Up in Smoke and Hardly Athletic register victories earlier in Week 7, much earlier, Jaipur find themselves down in 7th place, while Kingan's Kippers, despite their first league win of the season against Up in Smoke in Week 6, are still in 8th place, a position they've become all too familiar with. It's a beautiful autumn evening, and what an atmosphere here at Grove Road. Alongside me to provide his analysis is Gavin Gooseberry.
Hello Dave, hello everybody at home. Oh, I'm looking forward to tonight's matchup. We've got the pride of Neston, Kingan's Kippers, fresh off their first league win and hungry for more, and Jaipur Takeaway, playing only their 3rd home game of the season here at the smallest ground in the league. Jaipur Takeaway have shown a lot of promise, but they haven't really set the league alight so far. They are unbeaten at home now, registering a draw and a win against Up in Smoke and Hardly Athletic respectively. After losing narrowly in Week 6 to Box Badgers down at the Box Rec, they'll surely be happy to be returning to the colourful and fragrant site they call home.
Yes, this intimate venue is quite different to anywhere else in the CCSFF. A quite unique experience for the fans. To a first-time visitor, it may seem a slightly chaotic scene. Jaipur Takeaway are the only club in the league who don't put tickets on sale in advance. So as a fan showing up to the ground on match day, you'll have to barter with one of the numerous negotiators at the gates. The price you pay will depend on your regularity and most likely your ability to speak Punjabi. As you make your way through the gates, you'll first be greeted by the sight of an uneven, veg-laden playing surface, which has ruined many ankles and knees over the years. Then, as you make your way around the playing area, you'll notice a plethora of private vendors selling anything and everything, ranging from extremely unofficial replica strips to exotic pets. Hookah pipes, herbal teas, swords, it really is a wonderland. Not to mention the array of food vendors and performance artists, and the seemingly unattended children and stray dogs. But everything here adds in its own way to the spectacle that is a league fixture at Grove Road allotments.
Yes, Dave, it wasn't so long ago. I can still remember my first home game playing here for Jaipur Takeaway, and it was quite a shock to the system. I remember I'd never seen a snake before playing here, and on my home debut, the groundsman Sanjay was running around the locker room like a nutter, banging on about something in Punjab. It turned out a cobra was on the loose after one of the snake charmers who used to show off at Jaipur games had managed to lose his prized possession. I thought the lads were pulling a prank when they told me, but it turned out that didn't happen infrequently. The geezer eventually found the snake in the shower area. Cyril was his name. That shit me right up. But once you get used to the quirks of the club, it's a great place to ply your trade.
That sounds terrifying to me, Gavin. I can't stand snakes.
That's not what I've heard.
Anyway, there's always uncertainty here as to whether or not the pitch will pass inspection, and I'm glad to say that it has this evening. That is, despite local gardening enthusiast and pesky old woman Mrs. Braithwaite from number 52, causing disruption to the pre-match preparations as she insisted on watering her patch of Brussels sprouts an hour before kickoff, and that's bogged down an area of the pitch on the far side. Brussels sprouts, of course, require only about an inch of water a week, and considering the amount of rainfall we've had here in Corsham lately, Mrs. Braithwaite clearly doesn't know her arse from her elbow when it comes to growing Brussels sprouts. But the pitch inspectors have given the all clear, and as we near kickoff, both teams are out on the allotments, warming up and taking note of the most treacherous patches of the autumn harvest. The 3 C's could be a factor this evening, couldn't they, Gavin?
They could be, Dave. The 3 C's you're referring to are, of course, carrots, celery, and cauliflower, which are all ready for reaping this time of year. The most dangerous areas seem to lay up this near side section closest to Station Road. This will presumably affect both teams equally over the 90 minutes, although the Jaipur lads may have a slight edge. As I can say from experience, the longer you play your home games here, the more you get used to the growing seasons and the obstacles you can expect to face depending on the time of year.
Alright, well, without further ado, let's take a look at the team sheets with Gavin Gooseberry, starting with the visitors, Kingan's Kippers.
Thanks, Dave. This season, Tim Parker has shown his ability as a goalkeeper. It's greatly lacking. He is literally just a warm-blooded body the Kippers stick between the posts in order to get their main man Luke Mortimer outfield. Parker will continue his search for a first clean sheet of the season against Jaipur tonight, the lowest scoring team so far in the league, other than the Kippers themselves. Dave Pearce, in a press conference yesterday, was philosophising like a mofo, and he gave a weird 30-minute simile, the gist of which was basically he has the utmost respect for the cuisine of Jaipur takeaway, admitting he regularly makes a trip from Neston for a spicy vindaloo, but the Jaipur takeaway football team were bland and lack potency like a watered-down korma. Basically, he was dissing them, stirring it up a little bit like only a crafty veteran like Pearce knows how to do. Whether that will give him an edge against one of the league's best strikers in Adam Taylor of Jaipur takeaway remains to be seen. But Pearce lines up as a lone centre-back once again this week. The two-man midfield of Fulham and Mortimer worked a charm last week for the Neston boys against Up in Smoke. Manager Richard Robb sticks with a 1-2-2 formation again today. Let's see how the Kippers' two biggest fish fare against the three-man midfield Jaipur will be putting out. Luke Mortimer has 3 goals to his name so far this season and was recently chosen to represent the village people in the upcoming All-Star match. Dominic Watkins-Snaith returns from suspension and he will partner club captain Danny Derrick in attack, with David Salah dropping to the bench. The only Kippers supporters who will be disappointed by this news will be the reserve players who have to sit on that bench. Let's spare a thought for them, as they will have to put up with David Salah sat next to them for an hour and a half and hear him explain his theory about how, reusable carrier bags are the first step in implanting computer chips in everyone, or some other bollocks. The backwards village of Neston is quite isolated and a prime breeding ground for conspiracy nut jobs, but Salah is extreme, even by Neston standards. Anyway, there may be a bit of switching and changing, but I expect Derek to operate mostly up the right, with Watkins-Snaith occupying the left side. Danny Derrick, as well as Craig Fulham, are 1 yellow card away from suspension. The Kippers haven't been the most disciplined squad this season, with a total of 11 yellow cards racked up so far.
Thank you, Gavin. And how about the home side, Jaipur takeaway?
Well, Jaipur go back to their 1-3-1 formation after going 1-2-2 against the Badgers last week. Dr. Christian Heron Burgundy has chopped and changed formation constantly in the first half of the season, so this comes as no surprise. There are some consistencies in his selection though, Gareth Unwin in goal being the first. Unwin has played every game so far for the Curry men, conceding 14 goals thus far. The rock at the back is the spunky, spanky, hunky-hanky Simon Hancock, one of 3 Jaipur players who has recently been selected to represent the town in the upcoming All-Star match. High praise indeed for the curly assassin, but if I know Hanky, and I don't, I'd speculate he'll be more concerned with keeping the goal count down today rather than individual accolades. And it's a 3-man midfield of Jervis, Bowler and King. Bowler has been consistently decent in the middle of the park and has also earned himself an all-star call-up this season. He's composed on the ball, he strikes the ball well, and he'll fight hard defensively, at least until he gets a bit tired. Incredibly, Mark Jervis starts his 5th league fixture this season. I expect him to slot into the left side of midfield, while Aaron King will feature on the right. After missing last week's outing, King will be keen to turn in a decent performance here today to avoid, once again, being dropped and having to watch Jervis and Ratcliffe from the sidelines. He's yet to register a goal or an assist this season, is King. And no surprises up front, is fan favourite, the club's top goal scorer, and the 3rd Boona boy to be selected as an all-star, Adam Taylor. He's scored 5 goals so far this season. Manager Dr. Christian Heron Burgundy will surely be fairly happy with the output he's gotten from his big 3. That's Simon Hancock, Michael Bowler and Adam Taylor. But he struggled to get performances from his role players, and I think that's what the manager will be keen to see some of today.
Thank you, Gavin. Well, our referee for today is the stoic Welshman Howell Evans, who is currently clearing the last of the stray dogs and children from the playing area. And we're nearly ready for kick-off here at Grove Road Allotments. The visitors, Kingan's Kippers, won the coin toss, and have elected to attack the town end in the first half. So it'll be Taylor of Jaipur takeaway to get us underway. And there's the whistle. Taylor plays it directly backwards to Michael Bowler, and we're underway. Fulham has it for Kingan's Kippers on the right side, just inside the Jaipur half. He has space to run into, although the ball is bobbling horribly all over that cabbage-dense stretch of playing area closest to the wall on the Station Road side of the field. Fulham advances nevertheless. Mark Jervis, with his trademark delicate approach, is unsuccessful in challenging Fulham, who continues on. Derek is waving for it in the centre. As Fulham cuts inside, Hancock steps up to face him now. And that's an excellent challenge from Hancock. The ball breaks loose in Jervis's direction. He just about gets a toe to it and pokes it into the path of Michael Bowler. Can the Curry boys turn defence into attack here? Yeah, the Kippers have pushed a few forward there. The counter-attack looks on. Bowler brings the ball under control and turns away from Mortimer onto his right foot. King is making a run wide on the right side, with Watkinsnape dropping back to try and track him. Bowler is looking that way, but he slides it up the channel instead, directly to Taylor, who's looked dangerous early. Pearce is a little out of position for the Kippers, and he might have a problem here. Taylor gets to the ball first, right of centre, inside the Kippers' half. Pearce is struggling to recover and get in front of Taylor, who chops onto his left foot and takes on the shot early! Oh, it's over the bar. There's no way to tell, but I think the Kingan's Kippers keeper, Tim Parker, was a little worried there. He'll have been thankful to see Taylor's shot from distance clear the crossbar. Oh, how quickly the tables can turn. I thought Fulham was in a promising position for the Kippers, but a strong challenge from Hancock and a good bit of awareness from Bowler had the visitors on the back foot all of a sudden. I'd like to have seen a little more composure from Taylor there. He clearly had the beating of Pearce, and I think he got a little excited letting fly from so far out. Parker's between the posts though, so perhaps the instruction from Dr. Christian Heron Burgundy is to pepper the goal whenever possible. Oh, that's an aimless ball from Jervis out to the far corner. Pearce will be able to collect this for the Kippers. Taylor runs to put some pressure on, but he stumbles in the wet soil of Mrs. Braithwaite, and Pearce has plenty of time to pick out Mortimer just inside his own half. It's a good first touch from Mortimer. He rolls away from King and now advances up the centre towards Jervis. Derek is calling for it now on the right side. Watkinsnape is on the left side, and the bigger boy Fulham is herring up the centre, trying to get ahead of the ball carrier Mortimer. Jervis of Jaipur tries to make a challenge, but Mortimer changes direction and evades him. Jervis comes again. Oh, and Mortimer skins him again. Plenty of vegetables, but also some nuts in the midfield. Jaipur's defence looks vulnerable here. Hancock is trying to mind the run of Fulham, but Mortimer is approaching the area. He's going to let one fly! Oh, and it's tipped over the bar by the left hand of Gareth Unwin. There was some venom in that strike, though, and Kingan's Kippers are really finding their feet now. Yeah, great work from their talisman, Mortimer. I like how the Kippers have space in the field when they're in possession, and that gave Mortimer room to work past Jervis, who really is no match in a one-on-one. Perhaps Mortimer could have taken it on further, but he had a clear sight of goal. A decent stop from the keeper. It needed a firm hand. The ball's gone out of play on the far side, and we'll have a momentary break in play as Watkinsnape goes to retrieve the ball from that dense patch of weeds and nettles beyond the sideline. Just time to hear the thoughts of Gavin Gooseberry. Gavin, tell us, what is your favourite autumnal vegetable? I'll tell you what, Dave, I love a parsnip. Thank you, Gavin. Well, Watkinsnape has now grabbed the ball, but he's short of options as he looks to throw it back into play. Fulham shows for it finally, but Aaron King of Jaipur goes in with a crunching tackle, and the ball breaks loose. Bowler nips in front of Mortimer and is able to play it back to his centre-back, Simon Hancock. Mortimer tries to close him down, but Hancock chips it over the defender's outstretched leg and retains possession. Jervis gives a half-hearted call for the ball, seemingly aware that he's the last resort. Hancock instead finds King on the right side. The bigger boy continues his run up the middle and gets it back from King on the ones and twos. Hancock slips it this time to Bowler, who's inside the Kippers' half. Bowler looks to turn and he feeds it instinctively ahead to the front man, Adam Taylor, who's peeling out to the left side, dragging the Kippers centre-back Pearce with him. Taylor reaches it about 10 yards outside the area and immediately cuts in onto his right foot, and he looks to bend one! Oh, it's off the post! Parker was well beaten, but the shot flicked off the outside of the post and out of play. Oh, it's a great attempt. That's really the first time we've seen Jaipur's big three connect with any real conviction, and it nearly put them a goal to the good. Swashbuckling stuff from Hankey, Bowler with some nice touches, and it was good to see Taylor confident enough to try the curler from there. They're unlucky. Here's Jervis, deep in his own half for Jaipur, amongst the cauliflowers. He plays it towards centre field. Oh no, he doesn't. That was a cauliflower. The ball is stuck in a divot in that particularly bountiful vegetable patch within the Jaipur half. Jervis just about hacks it out of the soil, but referee Howell Evans can watch no more, and he blows the whistle for half-time. It's been an entertaining half of football. Both teams showing they're prepared to play a passing game despite the pitch conditions, and attacking stuff. But the first half here at Grove Road Allotments finishes. Jaipur takeaway 0, Kingan's Kippers 0. The ball deflects off Mortimer and runs through to Kippers centre-back Dave Pearce. Pearce has Taylor sniffing around the scene, and he looks to boot it upfield. Oh, but it's a poor clearance. It's gone directly to Aaron King of Jaipur, who takes possession inside the Kippers half. He plays it cross-field to Jervis, who manages to control it and bring it down. He's got Taylor making an angled run into the area, but Jervis squares it to Bowler, who's trotting forward up the middle. Fulham of the Kippers is trying to get back, but Bowler's gathering pace. He's approaching the edge of the box. Bowler! Oh, Bowler buries it into the bottom left corner. Fulham wasn't catching him, and Pearce didn't get across in time, and neither of them could prevent Bowler from letting fly. He struck it sweetly past the goalkeeper Parker, who had no chance. Oh, quality strike for the Curry boys. Stocky stalwart. He's been the best player on the field for me so far, and he's spearheaded another attack up the middle for the home team and finished it off nicely. It was a lazy clearance for Pearce of the Kippers, who's looked tired in this second half. He was ruthlessly punished by the boys in pink now. Just over an hour played here, and the home team lead by a goal to 0, and they've really got their tails up now. The bigger boy, Hancock, is controlling play from the back, exchanging passes with his midfielders and prowling from one side of the pitch to the other. He gets it back this time from King, and now Hancock strides forward looking for options. Mortimer tries to shoulder barge, but Hancock is strong on the ball, and he's able to find Jervis, who has Fulham bearing down on him. Jervis does not like bigger boys running towards him one little bit, and he quickly plays it on to Bowler. Oh, Bowler takes one touch, and he's looking in behind with a lofted ball for Taylor to chase. Dave Pearce is the defender, and he's been left floundering. Taylor will get to this first. He takes it in stride. He's advancing on goal, and now he's face to face with Tim Parker. Taylor! Oh, he coolly rolls it past the keeper to double the Boona boys' lead. The Kippers are in trouble now. Yeah, it's a long way back for the Kippers from here. But at this level, you cannot defend like that. I don't know if Pearce is keeping a high line because he's been told to by his manager, or because he didn't want to trample Mr. Liddell's celery, but he can't afford to position himself that high up the pitch. He got exposed there by a lovely little dink over the top from Bowler. Taylor didn't need a second invitation to help himself to his 6th league goal of the campaign. A striker's finish if ever I've seen one. Mortimer goes in hard on Jervis there, and the ball breaks loose to Fulham. The visitors haven't given up hope just yet, and they're still fighting in the middle of the park. Yeah, Jervis is also shit though, isn't it, Dave? Well, he gave away possession there, but Fulham can't go far as Bowler comes over from the centre circle to challenge him. Fulham is cool under pressure though, and he twists and turns into space just inside the opposition's half. Derek is galloping forward on the overlap now on the right side, and Fulham times the pass nicely. Derek has open field ahead of him now, perhaps for the first time in this match. Jervis of Jaipur is the defender closest to Derek. Couple of step overs from Derek, and now he's looking to get to the byline. Watkins, Snape and Mortimer are the options in the box. Oh, but the cross is deflected out for a corner by Jervis. Here, that was actually a decent piece of defending there from Nervy Jerv. I've got to give it to him. 15 minutes to play, and Kingan's Kippers are desperately pressing for a lifeline in this match. Watkins Snaith is coming over to take this corner, and he's not hanging about. He places the ball and surveys the area. Mortimer, Fulham and Derrick all offer a threat from set pieces, and the rather out-of-breath centre-back Pearce is now coming forward to join them as well. Here comes the corner from Watkins Snaith. It's an outswinger to the near post. Pearce with a flick on, and it's Fulham! A stooping header from Fulham at the far post, and the Kippers are back in it! Pearce barely got off the ground, but he got to the corner ahead of Bowler, and he got the flick on. Hancock missed it, Unwin was indecisive, and it went all the way through to Fulham, who reacted well. Yeah, fair play to Pearce too. He's clearly knackered, but good effort from him to get his head to that corner from Watkins Snaith. Jaipur have been well organised defensively today, but they were a bit of a mess there. So much responsibility falls on the shoulders of Hancock in those situations. But with the Kippers throwing so many men forward, there weren't a lot that he could do. Fulham reacts well as the ball comes his way, and there's life in these Kippers yet. King clears it for Jaipur, but only as far as Watkins Snaith. And the Kippers will come again up the left side. The home team very much under the cosh here in the final minutes. Watkins Snaith is going to pump it forward once more, diagonally towards Derrick, who will jump against Jervis on the outside of the box. Only one winner there. Derrick heads it across the area towards Mortimer, but the ball's well claimed by the goalkeeper Unwin amongst traffic. He grasps the ball to his chest with both hands, and he won't be in a hurry to get rid of it. That may have been the Kippers' last throw of the dice. Referee Evans looks at his watch, and he blows for full time. Jaipur takeaway have held on. Kingan's Kippers fought valiantly till the end, but ultimately lacked the potency in the final third to make their possession tell. Gavin, your final thoughts and your man of the match, if you please. Oh, it's a good result for the Curry boys. One of their best performances so far this season, I have to say. The Kippers matched them in the middle of the park, but as you mentioned, they didn't have enough up top to trouble the takeaways rear guard of Hancock and Unwin. My man of the match today, though, is Michael Bowler. I thought he equipped himself very well in the midfield against the Kippers' formidable pairing of Fulham and Mortimer. He tackled ferociously, his distribution was sound, and he scored a quality goal and assisted another to Adam Taylor, who I would say was also excellent today. But my man of the match is Michael Bowler. Thank you, Gavin. Well, that's all we've got time for today. Jaipur takeaway remain unbeaten at home through the first half of the season, while Kingan's Kippers go into the All-Star break with plenty to ponder. The final result here at Grove Road Allotments, Jaipur takeaway 2, Kingan's Kippers 1. For myself, Dave Mattingly, and my colleague Gavin Gooseberry, cheers, Anne! It's so long until next time.